Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast Special Edition Series, where I preview and predict every college basketball conference tournament. Now up is the Conference USA Tournament, which begins tonight. The tournament will take place at the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, Texas. The winner of this tournament gets the automatic bid into the NCAA tournament. If I get a pick wrong, then I'll predict the outcome of the actual matchup on my daily podcast on the night the game is played. If I get my picks correct, then the picks will carry over to my daily podcast. Before I get to my predictions, I'm going to discuss a few of my most likely to be the case items of note. Best player in the tournament, BJ Smith, Old Dominion. First round team most likely to surprise, North Texas. Most likely to spoil a chalk semifinal, Marshall. Now on to my 2019 Conference USA Tournament predictions. First round tonight, 7 o'clock, ESPN+, Louisiana Tech against Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic's your 9 seed, who went 17-14 on the year, 8-10 in conference play. Louisiana Tech 19-12 on the year, 9-9 in conference play. The pick here to win the game, Louisiana Tech. 7:30. And by the way, in this tournament, the games, there's 2 separate courts with a curtain, and they're going to do that for the first round and the quarterfinal for this tournament. So 7:30 tonight, you have 12-seeded Middle Tennessee against 5-seeded UAB. Middle Tennessee 11-20 on the year, 8-10 in conference play. UAB 18-13 on the year, 10-8 in conference play. The pick here, UAB. (9:30) ESPN+, you have 10-seeded North Texas against 7-seeded FIU. North Texas 20-11 on the year, 8-10 in conference play. FIU 19-12 on the year, 10-8 in conference play. The pick here, I'm going to go with FIU, even though I just said that I think North Texas could be the surprise team. But I just like FIU against North Texas in this matchup. And then 10 o'clock ESPN+, you have 11-seeded Rice against 6-seeded Marshall. Rice 13-18 on the year, 8-10 in conference play. Marshall 18-13 on the year, 11-7 in conference play. So Marshall will be my pick here, and Marshall's actually going to be both my first round team to surprise and then to spoil the semifinal, spoil the chalk. So I kind of messed that one up a little bit because of how this tournament's set up. I wasn't sure if all the teams in this conference were in it, but it's 12 rather than 14, so that was a mistake by my account. So, quarterfinals tomorrow, you have 8-seeded Louisiana Tech against 1-seeded Old Dominion, which would be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Old Dominion on the year, 23-8 on the season, and then 13-5 in conference play. The pick here is going to be Old Dominion. And then 7:30, you have 5-seeded UAB against 4-seeded UTSA. UTSA 17-14 on the year, 11-7 in conference play. I'm going to go with UAB. I like how that team is set up. And then at 9:30, you have FIU, your 7-seed against 2-seeded Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky on the year, 18-13 and 11-7 in conference play. The pick here, I'm going to go with Western Kentucky. I just think that they're a more talented team. And then 6-seeded Marshall versus 3-seeded Southern Miss. Southern Miss on the year, 19-11, 11-7 in conference play. I'm going to take Marshall to go to the semifinals. So, semifinals Friday night. Times to be determined. It looks like probably, I would assume 7 to 9:30. The first game at 7 being 5-seeded UAB against 1-seeded Old Dominion. I'm going to go with Old Dominion there to advance. And then 6-seeded Old Dominion, 6-seeded Marshall against 2-seeded Western Kentucky. You know what? I'm going to keep rolling with Marshall. They're going to be a surprise entry in the title game. And then Old Dominion versus Marshall for the title. The best player in the conference this season has been BJ Stith, and I think he'll lead the Monarchs to the big dance. So give me Old Dominion to win the 2019 Conference USA Men's Basketball Tournament. Next up is the SEC Tournament.